All right, I hope I can keep everything in frame. All right, we've got an unmodified PS3 Eye camera with the fisheye lens. Let me see, I should have, here we go. When choosing a PS3 Eye camera, you have two choices: a fisheye lens or the flat lens. Do not buy this. If you buy one thinking that you're getting the fisheye, but then what shows up is one with a flat lens, send it back. Because this is the one you want. Maybe one of these days I'll get around to trying something that I only recently heard about, that you can take sandpaper, like a 2000 grit is what I heard, and sand off the infrared coating on the back. But that aside, don't use this. So this one's unmodified, and I'm going to show you how to modify it. I could have this done in probably 5 minutes, but that's because I use a soldering iron to remove the IR filter. Okay, the first thing we'll want to do is remove the rubber caps. You can reuse these or just leave them out. I haven't modified one of these in years. It's been several years since I did this, but it's time to make this video. Because the PS3 Eye camera is cheap if you want to do it yourself, and you can run these at 75 FPS, which is great. I think most people run them at 60. There we go. And then I'll show you how to make the filter. This is plastic. So when you put it back together, treat it like plastic and don't over tighten it and strip it out. You probably want a screwdriver to get in here and spread that out. I have very strong nails, so there. Now I can see a gap right here. So using a thin screwdriver, twist it, it'll pop, come to this side, twist that. Then go down here, twist, again, twist, then I remove this, what's left sticking out. Now let's get the rest of our screws out. We'll unplug. These two have to come out so you can remove the base. Set that aside. You do not have to take the top 2 or 3 out. Just remove this one on this side, this one on this side, and there you go. So now we're going to have to remove the lens. These screws are smaller. All right, I'll set that aside. This is the camera. Don't touch that. For any reason, don't touch it. What we're interested in is cutting out this part right here. It's very thin. If I were going to do it the way that I do it, this would be over in a few seconds, because what I would do is I would take a soldering iron and I would just go around and go around until I removed enough material that then I could just put the knife tip under here and pop it out. But most of you probably don't have a soldering iron, so I'm going to do it the way that you will likely have to do it. And I've never done this before, so I'm going to see what everyone else goes through when they modify one of these without the benefit of a soldering iron. So I don't know how long this will take. I could do it in probably 10, we'll just say a half a minute. It wouldn't take nowhere near a minute to remove this. So I don't know how much of this I'll cut out in editing, so, and then just tell you how long it took. But I can see right now it's going to be a pain doing it this way. But I wouldn't suggest spending a lot of money on a soldering iron with a skinny tip. Maybe I should break it. Ah, it came. I got it. Okay, so all right, let's clean this up a little bit. That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but I was getting frustrated enough that I was ready to take it out in pieces, but it wasn't necessary. Okay, can you see that? And there's the filter we removed. All right, next step. Now you'll need a different filter. Now we want a filter that will filter out visible light while allowing infrared light to come through. So I've already got one here. And what I may just be shining a light in your eyes, but I already know this is a good filter, but you're not going to know that. So we're going to use a floppy disk. We'll set this out of the way. Okay. You can get these on eBay. You can get them off Amazon. Pop that off. Then get in here and we'll pop it. There we go. Get that out. Now we'll have to test it, because I think that'll be good. Can you see that? I think that is comparable. So we got lucky on the first one. Actually, it's a little bit darker, but that's all right. You don't want one that's too light, that lets too much light through, but neither do you want one that's too dark, for obvious reasons. You only want to block out as much visible light as you can without blocking out infrared light. This will fit. I see another piece there I need to get out. That'll fit like that, but you're not going to use that. You don't need that. All you need is a piece of this material. We'll just use this one. I was showing you how to get those apart. So what I'll do is I'll take what I have here, and if you want to know the measurements are about 14, they'll just go for 13 millimeters. Okay, that may be too big. Okay, it's not really too big. Let's get a pair of scissors. And we'll just cut the corners. I may not have cut them enough. A little bit more. Okay, so the filter is in there. I'll take it out and get my fingerprints off of it. Matter of fact, I think I'll trim it a bit. Yeah, that's good. Nah, that's it. Let's put it back together. You have location tabs here and here. So just line those up with the hole that's here and down here. So this takes the small ones. So it takes the tiniest screws in order to mount the lens barrel. I just tightened it until it quit turning. All right. Now take your the barrel and turn it all the way to the left. Take the front of your case, line the white dot up with a red dot, and it'll go right back together. As soon as it quits turning, I stop twisting. If you get one of these and it feels too loose, it turns too easy to suit you, this is how you tighten it up. That was probably a 1/16 of a turn. Maybe I should have put my magnifiers on for this. All right, this part's super easy. You got a flat area. The flat part goes down, so you'll slide that in. And you'll take the back and slip it over. So instead of trying to mash around and get it back into place, and it could be frustrating that way, but if you'll just take your thumb and forefinger right here, grab it and squeeze, it pops right on. Maybe a little less coffee today. I hope this is in frame or I'll have to do the whole thing again. Alright, I'll put my covers back on. It's entirely unnecessary. And that's it. You're done. Keep it on the red dot. And when you go into OpenTrack, set your frame rate on 75 because it will do 75. If you set it on 300, it will still only do 75. But that is a very respectable frame rate, because this camera does not affect the frame rate of your sim. "75" only refers to how many times per second it tracks your head movement. So if your simulator is running at 120 or 160 or 300, it's still going to run at those frame rates. But your head is going to be tracked at 75 frames per second, or 60 if you set it on 60. That's plenty. Unless you move your head about like a chicken, and nobody does that. When you're in a simulator, you're not jerking your head around. You're tracking targets, or if you're racing, you're looking for the apex. If you're an American Truck Simulator, I don't care what sim it is, 75 frames per second to track your head movement 75 times per second is more than enough for a smooth experience, no matter how fast your sim runs. So again, it tracks your head at 75 frames per second. It does not affect the frame rate of your simulation. All right. We'll hook this up and try it out.